caught my husband at work dinners with another woman, so I brought her husband too. I wasn't trying to play detective, but I saw Scott's work calendar say the same thing for the third Friday in a row. Client dinner, Aurelio's, 7:30. We'd been married 8 years, 2 kids, a mortgage, and he was always working late, so I tried to ignore it. Then the small stuff started to bother me. New cologne, a gym membership he suddenly used every day, his phone buzzing, and him flipping it face down the second I walked in. Months ago, I'd set up a family tracker because our daughter kept losing her phone, so that app was already there. Last Friday, sitting in my car outside the grocery store, I opened it. Scott wasn't at Aurelio's. He was at the Harbor, a waterfront restaurant 2 miles the other way. My stomach dropped and I felt sick. I drove there without thinking, parked across the street, and stared through the window. Scott was in a corner booth, smiling and relaxed, acting completely normal, and a woman sat across from him, laughing and touching his arm. They leaned in close, easy and practiced. I sat there for 20 minutes, frozen. My throat felt tight and dry. Then I forced my hand to work, took one clear photo, and drove home. I put the groceries away, got into bed, and pretended to be asleep when he came in around 11:30. The next morning, I didn't ask questions. I started collecting answers. The woman was Sophia Cho, a marketing director at his architecture firm. Her Instagram was public, and so was her marriage. Her husband, Damien Cho, was in photo after photo, listed as an ER doctor at Memorial Hospital. While Scott kept saying client dinners, I pulled receipts. Credit card statements showed dinner every Friday for 2 months. There were hotel charges on nights he said he was traveling for work. On our shared iPad, he'd left messages signed in, full of plans and inside jokes. By Sunday night, I had screenshots, dates, and a folder of copies. Monday morning, I called Memorial Hospital and asked for Dr. Cho. When he picked up, I said, "You don't know me. My name is Elena Reynolds. Your wife, Sophia, and my husband, Scott, are seeing each other. I have proof." He went silent for a long moment. Then he said, "Send it." I emailed everything. 45 minutes later, he called back and asked, "What time should I pick you up on Friday?" That week felt tense and slow. Scott joked with the kids, kissed my cheek, and acted normal. And every time he smiled, I felt angry all over again. I met with my lawyer, filed the papers, and put my copies in a manila envelope. Friday night, I got dressed carefully. Not fancy, just sharp. A black dress. The diamond earrings Scott gave me for our anniversary. Damien picked me up at 7. We didn't talk much. The car was too quiet. Both of us were saving our words for what was coming. At 7:45, we walked into the Harbor together. The hostess asked if we had a reservation. I pointed at the corner booth. Scott and Sophia were there, heads close, looking happy. "We'd like the table right next to them," I said. She led us to an empty two-top, so close I could hear Sophia's laugh. We sat down, ordered water, and waited. Scott saw me first. His smile vanished in a second. "Elena?" he said, and his voice cracked. Sophia turned, followed his stare, and went pale when she saw Damien. "Damien," she whispered. Nobody yelled. Nobody made a scene. Damien calmly set his envelope on the table. I set mine down too. Damien looked at Sophia and said, "Sophia, meet Elena Reynolds." Scott opened his mouth, then shut it again. I slid my envelope toward him. Damien slid his toward her. "Divorce papers," I said. "They're already filed. You'll hear from my lawyer Monday." Scott leaned forward, trying to fix it with words. "Elena, please, just let me explain." I held up my hand. 8 years, Scott, I said. "Yesterday, our daughter asked why you don't come to her games anymore. I told her you were working." Sophia started crying silently, wiping her face, clearly embarrassed to be caught. Damien didn't blink. "Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't come home," he said. "Your stuff will be outside tomorrow." Scott reached for my wrist, and I pulled back so fast my chair scraped. I stood up. Damien stood too. The whole restaurant had gone quiet. Eyes on us. Forks paused in the air, and I could hear my own breathing. I looked at Scott one last time, then walked out with Damien beside me. We made it to his car before my legs started shaking, and I gripped the door handle until my knuckles went white.